Hi everyone, it's Angel Roche and it's story time! So I'm going to be sharing the story about how me and James found out we were expecting twins. Yay! Okay, I'm going to do my best to tell this story because honestly, we were in shock so hard that I know I don't remember all the details. Shock was not kind to me. If it wasn't for my friend's cat, I don't know when I would have found out that I was pregnant. I know that sounds crazy. I had a cat years ago, and this cat hated everybody. Hated absolutely everybody. It was not a social cat. It was, you know, your typical hysterical, like, I hate you all people, just feed me kind of cats. And when I was pregnant with Eli, all of a sudden this cat would always sleep in my bed, on my belly, next to my belly, always near my belly. And as soon as I had Eli, like, our friendship was done. It was over. She only used me for my belly. And I actually found out about Ariana about the same way because I noticed all of a sudden my cat started sleeping next to me again and like laying next to me on the couch and all these different things. And so with the twin pregnancy, I was not even thinking being pregnant was an option. I had the Mirena IUD in, so I've had that in for about a year. And so yes, not supposed to get pregnant with that. It's like a 99.9% effective. We are that 0.1%, you guys. So it was actually my friend's cat this time. Same type of personality, didn't care for many people, was always just hiding and avoiding everybody. And then all of a sudden I noticed this cat was all of a sudden sleeping around my stomach on my bed. I'd always wake up if I came home. The cat was all of a sudden just following me and staying close to me and purring up next to my belly, and I was like, what? So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be paranoid. I'm gonna go just take a pregnancy test so I'm not paranoid. I'm like, there's no chance, but let me just have some kind of proof that I'm not pregnant. So I went and I bought a pregnancy test. I did not tell James. Had not told him because I was like, you know, I'll tell him afterwards, like, what a silly thing this was. So I bought a pregnancy test and I waited till the next morning and I took it. And it was positive, and I freaked out. Oh my god, I freaked out. I was in panic mode and I didn't even know how to brace my mind around it. And so I was like, you know what, maybe this is just some crazy fluke. Let me get a doctor's appointment right away, especially because I knew it was dangerous to have the IUD in. So I was like, okay, let me make this appointment right away. And so I called and I was like, look, I need a same day appointment. I need this ASAP. I'm pregnant, I have an IUD in, it's dangerous. I need to know what to do. And so they rushed the appointment. They called the OBGYN right away and they're like, get this girl on stat, she's going crazy. And so I made the appointment for like, it was like, I don't know, an hour later. And I actually had James take me and he had no idea why I was going. He waited in the waiting room. He had no clue. Because again, I was like, this can't be real. And at the same time, just in sheer panic because it was terrifying. And so I went into the doctor's appointment and it was a doctor and like a student doctor following him. And so they did, I don't remember if they did a blood test or a urine test right then and there. I don't recall blood test at that moment, but again, like I said, I'm in shock, so I was not recalling all the details. But they're like, yes, you're pregnant. Here, let's do an ultrasound because they knew I had the IUD in. They were able to locate the IUD First you had the student doctor tell me where it was, and then he, you know, verified and everything like that. And then he gave me in a way felt like grim news. He was like, look, you're at high risk because you have the IUD in. We can take it out now, but you're going to be at, again, very high risk to have a miscarriage, just with the process of taking it out. And also, if you leave it in, you have an even higher chance of a miscarriage. And so I was like, well, let's go ahead and take that out. Obviously, it serves no purpose anymore. And so they got everything set up and ready to take it out. And when the doctor went in to take it out, he couldn't locate the strings. If you know anything about IUD, it has a couple little strings to make it easy to pull out. And they couldn't locate it, so he was like, all right, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and set you up with another appointment in a couple days. We'll do a more thorough ultrasound, and then we'll try to see the best way to remove it from there. He's like, worst case scenario, I think he said worst case scenario there was going to be surgery. Maybe that was later on. Again, my details are a little bit fuzzy. So I am still in shock because I'm like, I'm pregnant, not supposed to be pregnant. How the hell am I going to tell anyone? How am I going to tell James? I was more scared to tell James than anybody. And so I had to do blood work right after that, and then I had at least, I think the appointment was like 2-3 days later. And so I went home and I'm in shock. I'm not talking to James, like the whole ride is quiet. He's asking how it went. I'm like, it was a doctor's appointment, you know. And we went back to his house, and he was doing his thing like a normal day, and I'm just like stuck in his room like, I gotta tell him. How am I gonna tell him? Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. I was so scared, and so I like texted him to come upstairs, and he's sitting there in front of me, and I'm just like blah 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 blah. Could not formulate the words to tell him, and he can tell him, he's like, I'm highly emotional right now. He knew I had to tell him. I think he knew what it was, and I think he kind of like got up and went away, and I'm thinking he was just trying to avoid the situation for a moment. I was so emotional. I could not formulate these words. And so he found out via text message a few hours later, because I could not. I just could not. I was in shock because you're not expecting to get pregnant on an IUD. I didn't know how we were going to handle anything. I didn't know what to do. I called my mom. Not because I wanted to, but because I was just in sheer panic. I was really afraid to tell her, because anytime I told her I needed to tell her something, she was like, just don't tell me you're pregnant. So I was scared, but when I'm pregnant, I need my mama. So I called her at work and I told her what was going on, and she really surprised me, and she calmed me down, told me everything was going to be fine. And so I was like, okay. My next appointment was either the following day or 2 days later. And we did the ultrasound, and it was with one of the head ultrasound people, and it wasn't a typical pregnancy ultrasound where they're like, oh, this is your baby, this is how big they are, blah, 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 where they're like nice and chatty. They are not allowed to talk to you and answer your questions. So they're working, it's like a 30-minute thing. It was, actually I think it was longer than 30 minutes. It was either like 45 or something. It was long, it was really long. And so And with them not being able to say anything, because I was asking them like, well, is everything okay? Like after a half hour, like, is everything okay? And they're like, you can go over your results with your doctor. And I'm like, okay. Huh? Why don't you tell me everything's okay? So as you can see, like each step of my doctor's appointments are getting more and more stressful and scary, and it did not stop there. So instead of going to see the doctor for the results in the patient room like a normal doctor visit, they had us go to the doctor's office. And my anxiety, which was already here, is now even higher because I'm like, this is where they tell you the bad news, So I don't even know what to expect as bad news at this point. And she was like, well, congratulations, you're having twins. And oh my God, my heart stopped. I glanced over to James to even see if he's still standing, and he is pale ghost white. He is so white. And literally I thought we were gonna have to revive him. I thought he lost all blood flow. He was pale, and he was not there. He was not present in that room at all. In fact, I didn't see him again until like after the twins were born. He was so not there. And she saw the sheer panic on both of us, and she was like, well, it could just be bubbles. It could be a disappearing twin. That's fairly common. You guys are still so early. I think we were just like 4 weeks. Like most people are just finding out, or probably around 4 weeks, I guess you can be finding out when you're pregnant, but not many people have already had 2 ultrasounds. And so I was like, okay, I might have twins. It could be bubbles. One might disappear. Okay, disappearing bubbles. I was not fully present, and she really went into mama bear mode, and she's like, look, I have twins too. It's not as scary as it seems. Again, you might not end up with twins. We just got to tell you what we saw on the ultrasound. And she gave me her card with her number on it. She's like, just call me if you have any questions, and you'll have questions later on. And I was like, okay, sure. And I don't remember if we found out at this ultrasound or not, because I was back like the next day or 2 days later for even more blood work. And during one of those days, they were like, oh, by the way, your IUD is now missing. It could be floating somewhere around your body. Like sometimes it like pops up around the arm, and then you just have to have surgery to get it removed. And I'm like, I hate you, Kaiser. I'm like, every time I come in here, you guys are telling me something worse and worse and worse. I'm like, I physically can't handle this stress right now, you guys. And I'm supposed to be essentially on bed rest for my whole first trimester now, because they're like, now you're on the extreme high risk because you possibly still have the IUD in you, but maybe you don't. Maybe you got lucky. Maybe it fell out. And I'm like, wouldn't I know that? Okay. And so now we're having to deal with, oh hey, we're pregnant, and oh hey, it's twins, and oh hey, you might have an IUD floating around your body that you're gonna need surgery to get rid of, and all of this. And I'm a zombie, and James is beyond a zombie. He is in panic mode internally. He is shut down. He is just going through motions right now. He's just like, okay, must go to work, must earn money for family, must go to work. He can't handle anything at this moment. There's no talking to him, and I'm just in my own high emotional panic, trying to figure out everything. And so I was having blood work done either every day or every other day for over a week, and blood work's my one thing where I hate doing. I can okay do a shot. Like I could do tattoos fine, but I can okay do a shot. Blood work's the one that I hate. And so having to do it like every day or every 2 days was really hard, especially as I'm like, I'm not even healed from the last one, and they're trying to figure out why I have so much bruising. And so they were checking my levels to see if the twin was taking, I guess, whatever multiplies by whatever, blah, 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 blah. Again, shock was not listening. And we did another ultrasound. I don't know when. We did a lot of ultrasounds. And my mom was there with me for the one to find out if it was twins or not. And James was with me too, but my mom was with me for that also. And so we found out we were having twins, and we were slightly more prepared for the official yes, but still zombies. And my mom's like the only level-headed one here. And she was like, okay, we're having twins, it's great, blah, blah. I know I left a lot out because it takes a while to try to like pull up these memories. I'm gonna have to make a second story about the delivery, because that's more juicier than this one. There is terrible experience. That one's gonna be a doozy one. And I'll furthermore go on about what happened with the IUD and or what may have happened, I'm not sure. And if you guys have any questions, please comment below or message me, and I'm gonna answer all of those. I know I'm leaving so much out, like how hard the pregnancy was, like on my spine, and I had to go to the chiropractor all the time and get monthly massages. Of course, I'm pampered like that, but they were needed. And you know how we did our gender reveal and all of that. And then I can also go into more about Eli and Ariana's pregnancy, which those were just so much easier, even just finding out and all of that. It was a lot more easier than this past twin pregnancy. So if you have any questions at all, like I have no problem answering them. And to find out more about how that wonderful delivery went, subscribe below. And